Fetcher on the starting lineup, but on the other side, we're also gaining one with Dwayne being in the team.
Captain, just the loose trio. It's the first time that World Championship loose trio is starting together since the World Cup final. How are you feeling about the reunion? Has anything changed? And what are you guys going to bring this Saturday? Do you feel this is the right time to come together as that loose trio with Dwayne and Peter Steph, as well as Prastik? If you can also add to that in terms of what you expect. What are the instructions 3 years on from what they did in Yokohama?
I actually didn't know. I thought we had played together because I played with PT during the Lions and Dwayne. I played with him. Obviously, he got hurt then. Dwayne was injured then. But yeah, we found out earlier in the week, I think, but nothing has changed for us. It's the same instructions as we got, or the same game plan as we did during the World Cup, and we expect the same from each other. I'm looking forward to doing it, but it doesn't matter who I'm playing with. I have to deliver the same, and I have to make sure that my job doesn't change by any chance. But having someone like Dwayne back in the team with that kind of experience, and it's an important game against an All Black team. I always need as many brains, as much experience as I can have around me on the field, and obviously PT. He's back. It felt like he wasn't even injured the way he's going on in the field. It's always good to have him back. So I'm looking forward to for Dwayne, because he hasn't played a lot. So I'm keen to see what he can do, because I know he doesn't need a lot of games to get back in the game. He's one of those guys. They are just some rugby players who don't need to go home and play in the club and then come back. And some guys can just do it. Someone like PT too, where Kolisi could tell me I need a couple of games. I'll need to play like 5 games before I get my game right. But I'm looking forward to see what the guys can do. It's a big game, So I think they'll be ready.
Yeah, I think we are in a good position as a team, to have an experience and a lot of leadership amongst that loose trio small, and having Dwayne back in the team. Once again, a guy like Jasper Wiese, I think he grabbed this opportunity with both hands. He's been massive in our team, working very hard and also having a massive impact in the game. But once again, having an experienced guy like Dwayne coming back from the injury, where it's a big game against the All Blacks, Dwayne has done it for us before, like you mentioned, the last time they played as a combination in Yokohama, So I think we are in a fortunate position as a coaching staff, and I think the stress that we do have now at the moment, I think it's a good stress, in a sense of there's a lot of competition amongst those positions. And I'm happy also to see Dwayne coming back, because he's been massive in our system. Like Sia mentioned earlier on, his leadership skills and the calmness that he brings on the field, I think the timing of him coming back against the All Blacks, I think it's a perfect timing for us as coaching staff.
Sia, Skip, I just want to firstly, very lightheartedly, you guys are just ticking off these wonderful records and accomplishments. If you beat New Zealand on Saturday, it's 3 in a row, which is, I think, only the second team in the professional era that has done that. Do you guys have like a little checkboard that you tick off on? And then secondly, and more importantly, how are you now entering one of the great Bok teams of all time? You're going to emulate, obviously, probably, hopefully, 2009's team. How do you do that on Saturday, beating the All Blacks?
No, we don't have a checkbox. We just take it game by game as a team, because we don't want to be thinking so far ahead. And obviously the coaches have plans, like we said. The coach want to see, they're planning for the World Cup. They want to see every single guy in the team, so the team changes every now and then. The plans that have been made, and becoming the best team, or one of the best Bok teams. I mean, that will be a great thing. But we all we can control is about how hard we work and how hard we play on Saturday. So we definitely want to win. It's important to us, you know. First of all, to play well and hopefully win. None of us have ever been in this situation. I don't think the coaching staff and the players, you know, and we want to make sure we give it everything we can and on Saturday.
Coach, on this side. Obviously, you guys don't really look too far ahead. You know, obviously the All Blacks this weekend is the big one, but heading off on a tricky, 3 away game tour. 2 in Australia, 1 in Argentina, and with your record in Australia not being that great, how important is it this weekend to put in a big performance, get a win to take that momentum into the next 3 games of the Rugby Championship, which are on the road?
Yeah, I think for us it's a progress in what we do and how we want to play the game, and you can't ask for a better position than to play back-to-back games against the All Blacks at home. We're probably the first team to be able, in my lifetime, to remember. I think we're the first team to play against the All Blacks back-to-back in South Africa. I think it's very important for us to make sure that we start well. So this coming game also tomorrow, it's a massive challenge for us, and it will be great. It will be great for the team. The progress of where we want to go to, and we know the challenge that lies ahead when it comes to us going on top. But we don't want to look that far. I think the biggest thing for us is the game tomorrow, and we know how massive it is to play against the All Blacks, and the venue also. I think it's a historical place between the two teams. I remember as a youngster back in 1995. I will never forget the image that I saw back in those days with Tata Matiba and Joe Spransky kicking those dope goals. So for us to be able now to be in the same venue, which is between us and the All Blacks, you can't ask for any better venue than Ellis Park. Mbombela was special. I think the vibe there, the people, it's probably one of the best I've ever experienced. In Nelspruit, it was very special. But we're just in a fortunate position at the moment to be able to play back-to-back at home against the All Blacks. It's always tough to play against them, but once again, we don't want to look too far and focus on what we're going to do. So the most important thing for us is to make sure that we keep building by also trying to perform tomorrow, and hopefully the scoreboard will be on our side.
Good stick. First of all, Young from ENC. I know the captain doesn't want to hear my voice, but I have to ask a question though. Coach Stick, the one quote I took out of your conference ahead of the Bombera test was, you said if you lose your focus for 1 second, this New Zealand side can punish you. Is that still the thinking of the Springboks heading to the second clash, knowing that you beat them convincingly in Bombela? Can you just add something to the whole Joseph Trudel issue? Is it not a case of Jacques Nina, but you guys' management throwing him in the deep end against a team like New Zealand? And Sia, I was going to ask you this question. Away from your team, I know you want to focus on your team and your team only. Something significant happened this morning here in front of the hotel. You guys took a team photo with the women's team. What is your message to the women's team? They're playing against Spain. And what do you say to your fans? Would you want them to come out and support the women's team as well, please?
Welcome back, Percy. Good to see you, man. Percy, like I've mentioned, All Blacks are a world-class side. It takes a good performance to beat them. People, they look at the results at the moment and think the All Blacks are a bad team. It took Ireland for them to play their probably best possible games they've ever played to be able to beat the All Blacks in New Zealand. Same goes with us. I think that was one of the best performances in my experience since Yokohama against England. The way we executed our plan, and the way the guys were playing for 80 minutes in the game where we kept on fighting, and you saw a bit of when they scored their try. It was from their half, where one of our players, I think 2 of our players we switched off a bit and we missed the tackles. And that's what the All Blacks can do to you on a day. If you switch off, they will punish you because they've got world-class players. Having Mawonga now in that team to start will even make them more dangerous, So once again, All Blacks are not a bad side, It takes the Springbok team to be able to play their best game to beat the All Blacks, So once again, for us, it's a massive challenge, and we know tomorrow if we're going to win the game, we're going to have to play probably again another and top up the best performance that we had last week, So once again, they've got world-class players. There's a massive respect between the two teams, Percy. And for me, I'm just also happy in the fact that in our squad, if you look at our squad now at the moment, we've got a lot of great leaders in that squad. If you look at the captains that we've got, see, I mentioned Dwayne, see, as a captain from the Sharks, we've got guys like Lucanio, the experience that we've got, Stephen Kitsoff, Stomas captain. I think we are in a good position, and our guys, I think they're taking a full responsibility on how to manage the game, because of, once again, if we go back to Wales, we started slow, do you understand, when we played at Loftus, but I think the guys now at the moment, we're starting to gel in now as a team, you know, and it's good to see us that at least we can contribute in our country where we make our supporters happy. So I'm very happy and looking forward to the challenge tomorrow. And once again, congratulations to Frans Malherbe, who's going to have also a massive milestone, 50th game, you know, someone who's been, a lot of people don't say much about him, but he's one of the guys that I've got a soft spot for him, you know, because of tight heads, the amount of job they're doing on the field, you know, when it comes to the scrums, you know, when it comes to the mauls, when it comes to the line-out, when it comes to the breakdowns, a lot of people don't realize the value that he adds in our team. So once again, congratulations to him, and I'm very, very proud of him, and got massive respect for him. Did I answer everything?
You don't think you got to turn Joseph into the deep end again?
Okay, Joseph Dweba. There's no player in that squad, Percy, that squad of 42. There's no player that doesn't deserve to be in that squad. A lot of those guys, they've earned their stripes in that team. So Joseph Dweba, his experience, went to play in France. You saw when he was playing for the Cheetahs, he was one of the big names in that team. Now coming back to the Stormers, which is I'm also very happy for him. Probably, you know, where we can also have a bit of a control of where we can manage it. You know, so I don't think it's a deep end. He's a big boy. He's tough, and I'm excited actually. You know, so it's not a matter of us being nervous about him. We're not nervous at all, and we've got a massive belief that Joseph Dweba will pitch up tomorrow, and Joseph Dweba will perform. There's no pressure at all. We've got a good team, you know, and he trusts the people around him. So I don't think he's in a deep end. I know one thing for sure: he can swim.
Coach Vic,
Since I must answer. We don't want to fight with pace here.
It was beautiful what happened this morning. I was taking pictures with the ladies, and I've been a big supporter of them for a very long time. And I go to the games, I go chat to them, talk to them on social media. I try and post about them as much as I can, because I really believe they work as hard as we do, if not harder. And you know, and we know just in general, women in sport don't like in this. The female sports stars don't really get as much as we do, and I think it's up to us as men to make sure that we celebrate them ourselves and we talk about them, and to see them and how hard they've had to work and where they came from, you know, with their competition starting. And every year they're just getting better and better, our women's team. And now we've got some of them who are playing international teams, some are playing in Saracens, Exeter, and they just won against Japan, who beat Australia, and that's something that I don't feel like is celebrated enough. It's a big thing, not just for them, for us as a country, because now you don't only have young boys, you know, from anywhere in the country that can say they can, you know, they can make it, and now it's young girls too who can dream so big. So to see them and spend time with them was really amazing, and I'm proud of them, and people should come out earlier, you know, start your braais. You can start braaiing it. You have a reason now to start braaiing earlier, and have a few cold ones a little bit earlier, because the women are playing. They're playing at 1 o'clock against Spain, and I think it's going to be an amazing game. And we keep on supporting them and continue to support them, because they do need it as much as we do. At the end of the day, they're representing all of us.
Coach, Mike. The All Blacks have made quite a significant change at 10. Does the dynamic change at all as far as defence is concerned? And then just what does Richie Mo'unga bring to the table that's possibly unique compared to Bowden?
Sure. We know he's a world-class player. You know, we've got a massive respect for him and his team, and you know what he has achieved for Crusaders, you know, as a player, winning Super Rugby, I don't know for how many years in a row. You know, he's a big player for them, and I don't think they're losing much on having him to start. They're actually gaining more because of he's a very, very tough customer, you know. He can mix his game around very well when it comes between running and also using the kicks to get into space. So we know tomorrow it's going to be a different challenge having him there. Barrett also did well. He's world class. We've got respect also for him, but I think Maunga will bring something different, you know. So we spoke about him, and we know how dangerous it is. And once again, to play against the All Blacks, like I said last week, you know, Percy mentioned it, that you can't just not switch off. You can't switch off when you play against them. You have to be at your best for 80 minutes. The moment you switch off, they've got proper world-class players there that can punish you. So once again, it's going to be a tough game, but I think these are the moments we live for, you know. It's a very, very special moment, and it's also sometimes, I have to be honest about it, it's also good for us as South Africans, you know, to produce the results, to keep our people happy, to keep our supporters happy, you know, because of we've been through tough time as a team. If you look back around 2016 when I started getting involved with the team, 2017, we've been through tough times. A lot of these players I know, they've went through that process also where they're going through tough times. To be able to see those players now growing as human beings and as brothers also, so it's something that I enjoy to see, you know. Looking at a guy like Sia from Sweden, you know, he showed, listen, life is all about opportunities, you know. He was given an opportunity to lead a team, and I think it's something that Sia can be proud of, you know. And also the guys around our team, I think we are in a good space as a nation. I think we are in a good space as a Springbok team, and like Sia mentioned again, I think South African rugby in general, we are in a good space. If you see what the Blitzbokkers have achieved, and you look at the ladies now to be able to beat Japan away from home, that is massive. The junior teams are also performing very well. So I think I'm very, very proud to be South African where I am, and it's good to see that we can contribute in the country, you know, as a team.
I see how you spoke last week about the motivation.
You asked last week about the size between Ketley and Caleb Clark. Do you still want to ask the question?
No, I think it was a brilliant question. Yeah, Sia, last week we spoke about, you know, not having beaten the All Blacks since 2014 in South Africa, and you were quite clear that that's a big motivational factor. There's obviously this whole issue that you guys have to be talking game by game and so on, but is there something similar to that? You mentioned first time at home since 2014. What is that driving factor, similar driving factor that you guys are emphasizing internally as a team this week?
No, I don't think I'll share that. I'll keep that for us, but we are motivated for the game, I can tell you that, but because, you know, I think Coach said it earlier, that we've never been in this situation before, you know, where we can, you know, win 2 games in a row, and yeah, it's something that we look, and also for the competition, you know, it will put us in a good position going to Australia, like Coach said, you know, because we want to make sure we're building momentum as we're going forward, not only for now, going to next year as well, and yeah, every game, like I always say, that it's important for us, and this one at Ellis Park, you know, and yeah, there's a lot of us who actually never played here against the All Blacks, so we're looking forward to, there's a lot of motivation behind it, but we want to be part of the group that we're able to win in South Africa back to back, because I don't know if we'll get the opportunity again.
Cool guys, that wraps up the English section of our press conference. Any questions in English for staff?
Too long.
Manene, ndinombuzo omnye for nina nobabini owakho Botspeak ngicela ubuza. Lo mfana uJesse uyathanda udelelela pha ephikweni. Uzawuqhubisana nalengwanzilili ke yapha eNew Zealand. Yintoni kumele basijonge kuye? Siyayazi ba akajayiva la hlobo lokhwetli noChesley. Kodwa uzasiphakela ntoni kulo mbuzo kanye lefana uaphelele enze ntoni yena ukwenzela uba aphinde abuye? I'm sure ikhona i-homework enimthume yona nathi khapha usenza ezi uyawubuya xa soyigqibile loo homework. owakho umbuzo mkhokheli kuthethiwe ngowina le midlalo ilandelelanayo sandotsho ngoku kodwa ke likhona ithuba apho benikhe nabethwa amaqela amathathu so niyayazi la pressure kuyo uye Foster neqela lakhe kodwa nikwazile uyijika phaya eAustralia ngobetha i-All Blacks kuloo mdlalo wokugqibela niqaphele ke loo nto leyo uba inobungozi into yoba kujongwe i-All Blacks ngathi zibuthatharha nxaba bebethwe imidlalo ethathwe elandelelanayo.
Umbuzo wokuqala about uJC dlala kwi-wing. uJC kaloku sibuza ukhumbule bakudala wayenza umsebenzi for thina kwi-wing xa sengxakini zi-injuries and then for thina singabaqeqeshi yes besike sangqubana ngentloko because ukhona nomfana njengowarigeland kaloku noko esiqondayo baya ngakwazi ukwenza la msebenzi kwi-wing but because of uJC kudala wasenzela umsebenzi kula position if uyakhumbula ngaki-end of the year tour last year uJC bedlala pha kwi-wing yabona kula tour yonke so and u-experience and uyayazi i-system yethu uba sifuna udlala njani yabo ewe akafani njengabafana abanjengo-Cheslin Colby yabona abangobuncuka bamphethe but into esiyaziyo kodwa yena uJC naye uyakwazi usenzela umsebenzi wethu and usowutshile kamandi uba uzawube equbulisena nala mfana ugadalala naye kulaa ndawo akuyo so I don't think izawuba ingxaki uba uJC asimele kula wing so wakudala wasenzela la msebenzi and siyayazi kahle uba une-experience and uyayazi into elindelekileyo apha kude etimini yethu so ndiyavuya naye afumana ithuba because of umfana osebenza kanzima kakhulu siyayazi kaloku i-competition between kuye nolukanyo inhle kakhulu uyabona and le nto siyifunayo singabaqeqeshi akufunekanga kubekho umntu oyi-one okokoko operformayo kwi-position sifuna la competition ukwenzela team siyazi uba in the future noba kwenzeke i-injuries siyazi uba bakhona abafana abazokwazi ukuyi-take over so uJC ke siyamazi ke kudala wasenzela la msebenzi and ndiyamvuyela naye afumana ithuba and then ube khona wesibini uaphelele fasi I think umqeqeshi wethu uJacques uye wancokola nabaqeqeshi be-Sharks nahambe ke ndadibana ngengqondo nophiwe nomlongo apho kufuneka sisebenzisene khona so zikhona izinto esiqonda uba ufasi noko siyayazi uba kune-potential and umfana ugood naye ebhotweni but into ebalulekileyo zikhona izinto ekufuneke naye esebenze kuzo so andizuba mde kuzo wena sibu but otherwise yes we did communicate ne-coaching staff e-Sharks bayayazi apho sifuneka khona basincedise khona ukwenzela ufasi akwazi umdlalo wakho uphucuka otherwise siyayazi uba mfana une-potential kakhulu so ile nto ke ibalulekileyo bani ngathi singabaqeqeshi funeka simncedile so at least sithethile nabaqeqeshi be-Sharks and ikhona noko iplan esizakwazi ukuncedisa ngayo nathi.
No, but siyayazi la meko okanye le situation izilanda kuyo ezojile nokwakho and that's why singayithathi kancinci that's why sisipreparishe hlobo sipreparishe ngalo khona itshintshileyo ukuthi but siyakhumbuzana simane sixelelana setimini ba yakhumbula besidesperate njani uwina ngalameni so siyayazi bazoza nantoni and into ebalulekileyo ukuthi sinoqala nge-intensity ephezulu thina kwenzeka benze bafuna into abazenzayo ziphumelele ikuqala imeni thina khona izotshintsha kuyo kuzonyanzela ke senze le sifuna uyenza because into ebalulekileyo thina sikwazi ukukhontrola le nto sifuna uyenza sikwazi ukukhontrola le nto bafuna uyenza khona.
Qeqeshi coach nawe captain mbuzo se-ade mhlawumbe sowuphendekile omunye wabo mhlawumbe kuwe captain u-95 mhlaza siqoba indebe yethu yokuqala i-World Cup ubuyela lapho la kwenzeka khona thina abantu akakhulukazi abantu abansundu bebuye i-rugby singakayazi sisele manje usethubeni ukuthi wenze lo mlando kasawena usho ama-All Blacks uyankunda kuzwile usho ukuthi impela kujwayelekile ukuthi amabhokobhoko kakhulukazi nina i-generation entsha bangabiza njalo idlale naleli qembu liyankunda kubaluleke kangakanani kuwe?
Kubalulekile kakhulu because mina la match ka-95 andiyazi andiyikhumbula but ndibona kumabonakude okanye kizithombe izindawo singena kuzo but ibalulekile kakhulu uba nathi senze omnye umfanekiso omtsha ezinye izithombe ezintsha abantwana babukele thina abantu abazobazi and nabo xa bebadala beyi-generation enkulu nabo bazofuna ukwenza ii-memories ezilolo hlobo so ibalulekile kakhulu le nto and yeah for thina abantu abasuka elokishini no Peter abafuna uku-inspire abantu abasuka emafama, so nathi sifuna ukukhunjula ke kwezo zinto, but so nyenzeleke siyenze ngehlobo ekudlala ngalo bona. So but yeah nayo ibaluleke kakhulu because nathi sifuna ukukhunjula kwiincwadi zelizwe.
Guys, last question over here.
Okay, umbuzo wami uza kuwe coach. Ngifuna ukuthetha ngomnye wabadlali, ingabi kanti ngiye ndamkhetha kwabanye abadlali because ndiyayazi abadlala njengeteam bedlala ngokubambisana, but umdlalo kaLuka uyakhula kakhulu mvanje kwaye udlala indima ebalulekileyo kumdlalo wenu wakupheleleyo. Ntoni esinothi silindele kuye kwaye lo mbuzo bekho wabuzwa ke nge-English, just umgangatho wombhoxo kuMzantsi Afrika njengoba sibona kwi-sevens namanina njalo njalo, so ungathini nje kumgangatho womdlalo?
Okokuqala bandiqale kulo mbuzo okugqibela, njengoba bese ngitshilo ke njenge-country thina kule ndawo sikuyo, I think sikwindawo enhle kakhulu and ndiyayivuyela nami ubona banoko i-results ziyabonakala ngoku. For xa ujonge iqela le-sevens bawine i-gold medal ngapha kwi-Commonwealth Games, ujonge abanina bakwazi ubetha iqela laseJapan, balibethile kokwana. I-junior teams nazo ziyaperforma kule ndawo zikuyo, yabona. I think sikwindawo enhle kakhulu siyi-country, siyi-SA rugby, and ndiyayivuyela noko nathi ukubona i-supporters zethu abalandeli bethu ba-happy kule ndawo bakuyo, and yona nto inkulu kakhulu ukuthi sithi make sure xa sifumana ithuba sikwazi ubonwabisa abalandeli bethu, because of if uyajonga keli thuba sisuka kulo kule minyaka sisuka kuyo emibini bekunzima kakhulu. Siyayazi abantu abaninzi kaloku baye bahlupheka emiphefumulweni zizinto besenzeka, beluza i-family members, yabo. Abona thina ke noko si-fortunate uba sikwazi ukucontribute ekhantrini yethu, yabona. And you know uTata Madiba once said uba isport sine-power so unite i-country yethu. The images that we saw in Bombela, I will never forget those images. If you remember, even Uvilile room, the trial by your celebrator, it was special to see that. I think those are the men. Kame go dinwena. Sungcola kame. So indenzekayo leno siyiphilelayo thina. Siya uyaxelela ndawo kuba thina we always want to unite the country. And ke siyayivuyela le ndawo sikuyo and simbulela noThixo bathi ithuba sikwazi ukunwabisa abalandeli bethu. Siyavuya kakhulu, but uzijonge kakhe kwakhona apha Ellis Park, yabona. You can't ask for indawo yodlala than Ellis Park because siyazi kaloku imbali yapha kutelabana. If we are talking history from 1995, yabona, abanye bethu sasibancinci ngela xesha, but asoze ndilibale lamela mdlalo noko nansi ninengqondo ke na lo mfana wawuzalwe ngela xesha. Yo lo mfana ke at least yena akazikhumbula, but mina ndiyakhumbula. So I remember ke la xesha I used to call myself Township Stransky because of what Joe Stransky did for us, you know. So that is the power that le game yombhoxo enayo, yabona. Siyayivuyela ithuba sikulo and ndiyathemba nangomso sizakwazi abalandeli bethu sibonwabisa ngeziphumo ezirayithi.
Township Stransky. Buza Lukanyo
am. Yo, khona incwadi nandiyifunda esikoleni okuthiwa nguMagwegwetha, yabona. Uyayikhumbula la ncwadi? I think uLukanyo ngumfana onobuchopho, onengqondo. Zikhona izinto azenzayo esingakhange simkhothe zona, ubonakalisa noko indlela aphile ngayo lapha engqondweni. And into endiyithandayo kuye ngumfana very very onenhlonipho kakhulu, ohumble. I think ezinto ozibonayo ebaleni, it's because of indlela aphila ngayo nenhlonipho anayo for abantu and nendlela awuthanda ngayo umbhoxo, yabona. Because of uzikhumbule kaloku uLukanyo akasuki kwezikolo zinkulu, ukhumbule usuka ngapha eBhofolo D4, yabona. So i-D4 ayiso sikole saziwayo kakhulu ngombhoxo, yabona. So ndiyavuyela ke naxa kukho abafana abanjengaye abasuka kwezaa zikolo xa befumana ithuba bakwazi ukuthatha ithuba labo, because of kaloku le nto besilusiya kukho abafana abasezilalini, kukho abafana abaselokishini. Noko xa bebona abafana abanjengomakaZola noSiya bayaqonda noko uba no, it is possible, yabona, because ngabantu abanorelate kubo aba-close in a sense of bakhule kule ndawo baphila kuyo. So siyayivuyela indlela uLukanyo adlala ngayo and ndiyathemba uba usezawukhula umdlalo wakhe because of indlela anobuchopho ngayo, and ndiyamvuyela naye nabanye abadlali aba-around yena. If uyajonga uMakaZola bavana kakhulu, yabo. So ndiyabavuyela indlela adlala ngayo umbhoxo.
Nobuchopho.
Yakwazi ubuchopho.
Yeah, ne boss.
ingqondo.
Name respect.
Anthony, Kafana.
Guys, thank you so much. Thanks for being here. And
I
have a
think
nice
you did it
afternoon.
in a Lucania. They called it.
Township Pinner.
Township.
I'm sorry, my response. No.
That's just thanks. Can I put a it's at bottom on the red?
Yes.
So you're standing with Township Pinner.